So you might be in the market for a compact fixed blade that you can carry just about anywhere, and you'll love modularity. Say like over 400 different options on how you can trick out that tool. And as a bonus comes in MagnaCut, one of the most premium desirable steels right now on the market. Well guys, that's what we have going on right here with the Overland that we're gonna dive into and take a look at today. Have some fun today with this Overland fixed blade, and you guys may recognize the profile. You may be like, man, why have I seen that before? Well, the designer Schwarz, who reached out to me and said, hey man, I got this fixed blade design, and would you be interested in me sending a model over to you to test and review, you know, for the audience? And I said absolutely, particularly when I found out it was being made with MagnaCut, you know, and I was like, God, I haven't used it yet. Let's freaking do it. But the Overland design he actually came up with years ago, and KELTY picked it up and made it into one of their budget-friendly folders. And based off of that design and the success of that design, he decided to, you know, make it for himself, totally custom, fully modular that you're about to see here, from everything I'm seeing, just excellent fit and finish and materials. So we're gonna dive into all of that, but the folder did come first. Then he decided to go all in and make a fixed blade version by himself, family business, and it's cool just to do that. I've had able to, you know, have a few conversations with him, and it's just been awesome to get to know him and his heart behind the design, and just, you know, his desire, you know, as a family man, and just as a guy who loves blades and overlanding. And so that concept kind of definitely goes into the idea of this tool being able to think of a Jeep Wrangler or something, add a bunch of parts to it and make it modular and kind of make it custom the way you want it to be. Do you need a winch? Great, we can put a winch. Do you need a bunch of floodlights? Awesome, you can do that. Do you need a 2-inch lift, 4-inch lift, 6-inch lift? You know, do you want 33s? You know, what type of gearing you want? That same concept goes into the idea. So from tip to the back, we're looking at 8.5 inches. Blade length is 3.8, and then the thickness is 0.14. And the weight, naked as you see it with handle scales right here, is going to be 6 ounces, and then depending on sheath option, you're looking at about 8 ounces total carried package. Now the saber grind that it has on there is hand ground. He does that, so I mean, you're getting, you know, that custom styling, custom profile, custom everything. And what I saw was that this idea of basically, as I was just, you know, talking with him, a hybrid chef / camp knife. That's what it's designed for, that you can carry just about everywhere. And I love how he kind of put the chef almost first, because that's what you do a lot of the time when you're camping, particularly overlanding, or in our case, RVing. You know, I'm out here making food all the time, doing the meals, cutting up an apple for the kids, doing that type of stuff. And it definitely has a little bit of that profile to it. And guys, it does great with food prep. Very, very good. Edge geometry, blade shape, all of that. Food prep is excellent. So if you like having a fixed blade on your hip that you can do a lot of food prep with, but is in the premium level, then this can absolutely do that. And then I was really happy just with the overall capabilities. You know, what can you do with the tool? Cardboard cutting, absolutely, because of the thinness, the edge geometry, the high saber grind. You're going to be able to open packaging, do all that stuff. The tip is directly in line with the lanyard hole. So it kind of looks like a sheep's foot, you know, reverse tanto almost kind of style. You know, that sometimes you can, it feels like you might not be able to penetrate very well, but because it's in line with the lanyard hole, it means that you can actually pierce very well with it. I was very happy with its piercing capability for packaging. And then because of the continuous movement, you know, it's not just a straight edge, you're getting a little bit of that curvature constantly. It's accelerating the cut through all of the man-made material that you might run into, cordage, you know, rubber tubing, you know, your whatever radiator hose broke and you need to, you know, cut a new one or something on the trail, you know, whatever it is, it's going to easily be able to push through that type of material. Now, what about this MagnaCut steel, and what can we expect out of it? I'm going to give you guys my lived experience. This is my very first MagnaCut tool that I've ever had, but the whole industry is kind of clamoring about it right now, and I'm going to share my thoughts and just my experience, my lived experience with this type of steel. Now, basically what we're seeing is not only, in theory, really good edge retention, really good toughness, and rust resistance without it being horrible to resharpen, which to me almost sounds like a perfect steel, right? And so what I found was, say, on the rust resistance, we've been hanging out at the very south tip of Texas. I dunked this thing literally in the Gulf of Mexico multiple times, hung out at the beach, carried it on my hip, and it is extremely rust resistant. Not a single spot, not a single stain on this tool. It's like 95% humidity right now. It's about to rain when I'm filming this, and this thing is epic in comparison to all of the other tools that I have. It just fights off that rust extremely well. What I found in toughness, I beat on this through some really tough wood, and it really held up. Now, it's not really designed for that you're not gonna be batoning a bunch of stuff around your campfire. You could do a little bit of kindling real quick after you've split it with your axe if you need to, but I wanted to see how the edge held up to it, and it did not roll or chip out. So it's getting a great tempering and heat treating that I'll talk about in just a moment. And then finally, when it comes to just the edge retention, it's holding up so well, like so well in the edge retention department. It's basically factory. I've worked with it and resharpened it a few times just to see how it would resharpen, but that was really not necessary to do. And I've been super happy with what it can do in the edge retention department with this MagnaCut steel, and particularly the way that TJ is having it produced for his blades. So in general, MagnaCut I think is if more and more companies start using it, it is going to be a game changer, I think, in the marketplace. But also in this configuration, TJ could have it done in-house close by and have it done in Idaho, but he has shipped it off to Pennsylvania to one of the best heat treaters on the market and does an excellent type of heat treat, and then brings it back in, and then he does it in such a way with his stones and things like that, resharpening or putting the edges on it so that he doesn't damage the heat treat on the tool. And so that's awesome that we're getting a Rockwell of about 61 to 62 on this particular model, and it's just it is doing everything that I could ever hope for, and basically checking every box. Good edge retention, toughness and durability, rust resistance, and not a bear to resharpen. You can't complain about this type of steel, and MagnaCut I think is going to be changing the game for a lot of knife manufacturers and brands. Now, my tastes have been kind of changing a little bit, and that's what I love, going back to the idea of modularity, is that maybe for a season of your life or a particular environment, you like, toned down colors, or maybe you like micarta. And then there are other aspects, maybe as time grows, maybe you weren't a hunter and now all of a sudden you're doing a lot of hunting and you're like, you know what, that high vis really, makes sense to me. I need a high vis in my life. And you can go back and purchase handle scales of a different color, different material. So there's micarta and G10 to choose from, and you can have lots of different color combinations, so that's great. And so what I discovered was, one, fits my large size hands really well, very comfortable. For you rookies, I wear large size gloves. For you veterans here at the channel, I'm gonna make a t-shirt or a hat one day that says I have large size hands, with all kinds of implications to that statement. But fills out great. No hot spots. And what I found was that this contouring right here gives you a really solid lockup, and it feels like you have a really good dedicated guard, but because it's gradual, it doesn't feel like an abrupt stop. So it just really was organic, even though it kind of looks prehistoric to me. Very organic and flowing in how it functioned. And I can work it all day in this way. You do have a few hits of jimping that are milled in every direction, making them give you the bite that you need, but not being painful, like certain companies that we know out there that tend to make them like so aggressive and sharp. You know who I'm talking about. You're like, ow, oh man, does that have to be that abrupt and sharp? That is not the case, because every angle is milled on that. So you're locked in. I find that when I hold it like this, I got about two jimps worth on my thumb, and that's like perfect. And then you can obviously just do your hammer grip, that way. This is technically a choil. I can choke up and use this, and it doesn't feel like it's just a sharpening ricasso. Like, I feel like I can get up and commit to the cut, but it's not a dedicated choil like, say, on an SE3 or a Rat 3 or something, where it's just eating up tons of blade, and you basically feel like you're forced to use it. In no way did I ever feel like I needed to. And you can see here my thumb is right in line with the edge, but then if I really want to get a real fine cut for some reason, or I'm doing something like that, I can get up even closer and it feels comfortable and doesn't create any pain or hot spot in that way. You got this milling right here, so you can do a pinch grip if you're doing cleaning, either of game, food processing, chef work, whatever it is. Finally, it is nice and slim, keeping with that idea of basically almost being like a fixed blade that can operate in a pocket knife format. So it's not this huge beefy woodscraft handle, but it's not so slim and slick that you're like, ugh, I'm never gonna use it. It's giving you a lot of the slimness of a pocket knife, but giving you that robust durability of a fixed blade. So that fits a niche that a lot of tools out there just don't do. So just like the type of tire can determine the performance level of your vehicle, sheaths can be the same way for a fixed blade. And so you have two options to choose from: leather or Kydex. Now with the leather, these are made by TJ's dad. He's been in the leather industry for 40 years, making saddles and working with leather. So family business, and you can tell this is a premium leather sheath. Great stitching all the way through, heavy duty leather. This is the tan version. You can get it in black, and you can orient it right or left-handed carry, depending on what you want when you are ordering it. You got his dad's signature there on the back, good stitching there, and then a 2-inch loop there for up to a 2-inch belt. And then you're gonna have about 2 inches sticking up above where the belt would ride. Pretty tight fit. If I really turn it upside down and want to like jerk it, it will come out. So you would need to kind of form that once you get it. But for a very slim profile, form-fitting leather sheath made by the family here in America, I mean, that's super awesome. Now the Kydex option on this is where I really believe it takes the carrying capabilities of this tool to a whole new level. And if you're carrying it more often, you're gonna use it more often, you're gonna enjoy it more often. And so the Kydex is made in-house as well by TJ, which is awesome. So there's no wait times on the Kydex, lots of different color combinations, lots of attachment points that you can do, blade tech locks, your own type of clip or whatever you like to carry, molly locks, you know, whatever you would like to do. Great fit and finish on the Kydex itself, super slim, really good large drainage hole, great fit, no rattle at all. Great ramp right there to pull off of and deploy and snap back into place. Now this is what's real cool and what I like a lot. He kind of got this idea from the firearm industry in firearm holsters, and just has not really seen it done on most fixed blades. And so it's basically a very slimmed down connection point where these screws go into a little metal plate that does not touch the Kydex at all. And that makes it very slim and very flush. So you don't have this extra big bulky piece of Kydex and then you're trying to attach clips to it, and, you know, and then the platform becomes very fat and very wide and thick and not fun to carry. This is extremely sleek, extremely slim, and excellent to conceal and carry just about everywhere. Now you can choose to have it completely ambidextrous, where there are mounting holes on either side, and then you decide which one it goes on, or you can decide just right or just left. So there's 3 different ways that you can basically do that, which is awesome, that you can order on the site. And you will get, if you order it with a clip, it'll come with this USA made clip that can run through PALS webbing, as well as most 1.75 inch belts. So I've been really enjoying that. You can put it on your pocket. Makes it very carryable for me around the RV, but also on our adventures, going to the beach, you know, whatever it may be. So it makes it, for me, giving me a lot of mounting options depending on how I want to carry it. Maybe it's on a shoulder strap for a day while I'm hiking, and then I can put it in my pocket and wear it inside the waistband if I want to. Or there's so many different options, and it's so slim that you can really mount it any way you want and carry it in a lot of different scenarios. All right, getting it off the belt there. I've loved EDCing this from the beach to the campsite and everywhere in between, guys, with this tool. It's just super dope. And the fact that it's with MagnaCut. Now, you know, financial investment. It is an investment, and it is like a custom blade. So you're gonna have to wait usually between 4 to 6 weeks. Times can vary. It'll always be updated on the website. This is a complete in-house job by TJ. He's the one responding to the emails. He's the one making the blades. So, I mean, you're talking to the designer, the builder, and all of it. You know, it's not like some rando dude, you know, who doesn't give a rip and goes home, you know, at the end of the day. This is his investment into this design. And then on top of that, the pricing for everything you see here, a sheath, the handles, the blade in MagnaCut, $300 is ballpark what you're gonna be paying for this tool. So obviously a financial investment as well, but the benefit I feel like is that it grows with you and with your taste, with your needs, and you're getting one of the most premium, desirable steels right now on the market. And you don't have to have a stainless steel knife and then you have to have a high carbon knife. It's like you're getting the best of both worlds in this one tool, and it can grow and modulate depending on what you're into as you just grow in your likability of fixed blades and tools in general. So I hope this video has been fun and informative, giving you the data that you need so that you can make a wise choice. Is the Overland profile and design the right tool for you? And is MagnaCut steel something that you want to pursue after? And if you want that type of steel, maybe the Overland is the right design for you, or maybe not. That's what I always want to do in these type of videos, is give you the information, the data, my perspective, so that you guys can make a wise choice on whether or not this is the right tool to put in your regular rotation. So I encourage you to leave a comment below, give us that thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, throwing up content like this all the time. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you guys have in the comments below, and you can check out the other video popping up. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.